Are we live? I have no idea. Um, I'm just testing this new camera. This is my laptop, and I have a new microphone. Let's see, show me. It's this beautiful thing that I also use for my podcast. It's a Rode, which is excellent. And I hope people are able to hear me, to see me. What I wanted to make a video, but then a lot of stuff got in the way, and there are some things I want to talk about. I want to talk about the older books that I read this year. And there are books those are books that are older than 5 years old. And a couple of them are classics, and others are just worth mentioning or worth your time to, highly worth your time to read. For instance, Joseph Roth's Radetzky March. This is the Dutch version. But what a book this is. This is so excellent. What an excellent book. This is a book that talks about the Trotta family. Grandfather Trotta was a soldier, very low rank, and by accident he saves the emperor. And of course he becomes a hero for the rest of his life, although he finds it really hard to live with that. And then his son becomes a sort of a pen pusher. He's really good at all kinds of administration, and then his son becomes a soldier again. And it really talks about the use and uselessness of war and everything that is involved with that. So I hope you can hear me fine. Joseph Roth's Radetzky March is amazing. Then of course a book that is finally getting discovered on BookTube and TikTok. It is by a Brussels author, Jacqueline Hartman. She was a psychoanalyst. She passed away a couple of years ago, and only now she is being discovered, and but not in Belgium, which is so sad. But this is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. If you can find a copy of Orlanda, not Orlando, but Orlanda, that's a retelling of Orlando, it is amazing. Also amazing. But this one is about a group of women, 40 women, are captured and being held in a cage somewhere in a basement, and they have no interaction with their captors whatsoever. They are not allowed to speak too much to each other. They are not allowed to teach each other things, and or just be friends or whatever. It is an amazing story. And then suddenly they have been there for so long, and suddenly they can get away, and it is about community, trying to reinvent yourself and explore yourself and your capabilities. It is an absolute masterpiece. This is a short book, but really good. But also try to find Orlanda by her. Orlanda. Nobody talks about that book. It also exists in English. I Who Have Never Known Men. Brilliant book. Then another oldie is, of course, My first Bronte that I've ever read, it is Jane Eyre. Oh boy, what a joy to read this. Oh, this was so good, so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was such a joy to read this book and to, discover the world of Jane Eyre. There's so many elements in this book. There's romance, there's horror, there's thriller, there's there's so much in this book, and it reads like it is a modern novel. So, yeah, what a talent Charlotte Bronte was. What a talent. Another book that I don't have a physical copy of, and that's quite hi Kamit's Journey. Another book that I don't have a physical copy of is, of course, Herman Melville's Moby Dick. And we are glad to announce that this will be our first book we will read for Classics and Company in 2024, so next month. Please join us. It is such a bless. And because there's so much symbolism in that book, it is a joy to discuss that story with others, because you don't always understand what he means by certain symbolism, and especially references to the Bible. I don't know much about the Bible. I have to be honest. It's not something that is really thought here, and it's a book that I really enjoyed. Although I was kind of reluctant to read the book because I was scared of the will. Well, scared is a big word, but with all the will hunting and so on. But yeah, that was also a book that I thoroughly enjoyed, and that I will reread together with Micah and all the others for Classics and Company. A book that isn't translated into English, but it has to be. It is so important. It is written by Klaus Mann, and it is The Volcano. This is my Dutch version. This was written somewhere 36, 38. And it came out in that period by Queredo. Queredo was a Dutch, is still a Dutch publishing house, and they were specialized in publishing books by Jewish authors that didn't get any chances anymore in Germany. What is this book about? Well, it is set in 38, 36. It's a group of friends that come from Berlin, and they have fled their country because the Nazis are now having all the power, and they have fled to Paris, and they think they are safe there. And of course, it's a dream. It's a book about hope and dreams and youth and discovering new things, but it's also a book of how you call it? We have a word for that, being homesick, but that's not really exactly the word. We say heimwee. It's, you really long to go back in a way to the place you're coming from. And this is so painful and so beautiful to read, because you know what will happen to them. You know that they are not safe. You know that you know more than they do. And that's what makes this so painful, but also so beautiful. It is an amazing book, The Volcano by Klaus Mann. Please, somebody have the courage to publish this in English. It has to be published in English. It's such a good book. A book that I also thought was really worth mentioning is this one, A Journey by Moonlight by Antal Zserb. Antal Zserb was a Hungarian author. He was also a Jew, and he died right at the end of the German occupation. This is the story. It's his only book, I think it is. This is a story of a young man. He is just married to a girl that everybody loves, and they are set on their honeymoon to Italy. They will do a tour of Italy, and he realizes that she isn't the one for him. There's another girl in their friends group where they always went out with that he actually loves a whole lot more, but she is not in love with him. This is a book, it reads quite easily, but it gets stuck in your mind, and you have to you're constantly thinking about it, and it is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Is there a way to ask for a translation? Yeah, you can write to publishing houses and ask them, but mostly they don't reply. And it's not so easy to get a book translated. If you want to do that, or maybe there's somebody who wants to make a living of translating books from, let's say, from German to English, for instance, you can do a test and then also write a very thorough book report of the book and send it to several publishers, and maybe they want to work with you, but that's not guaranteed. It's not so simple, especially if you're not part of the book world. Hi Erin, I'm glad you want to read Radetzky March. It's beautiful, it's really good. Then another book that really took me by surprise is Lord Jim at Home by Dana Brooke. This was also very good. This is written in 1973 and is now republished. And I can imagine that this book in 1973 was quite a shock to the system. So yeah, it is a brilliant book about a young man who grows up in a very wealthy family, but yeah, he is a bit of a, those families where children are assets, not a part of them. It's just a thing to have, and he has been sent from nanny to boarding school, from boarding school to nannies and whatsoever. So no real love there. And he gets lost, but finally he finds sort of a home or stability in the Navy, and he really thrives in the Navy during the Second World War. But then it comes to an end, and he is let go, and then he loses it. And it's a heartbreaking story, very well told. Very well told. Don't forget to like if you want. You will do me a huge favor with that. And then, of course, the book that I loved the most. Not this one. I love this one too, but Dovlatov. Sergei Dovlatov tried to... see, Sergei, other side. Sergei Dovlatov. So like this. This is an author you really have to look up. It's really good. The book that I enjoyed the most, my top number one of 2023, is The Magic Mountain by Father Klaus Mann, Thomas Mann. I love this book. Hans Castorp and Settembrini and Claudia Schoscha. And, I love it. Yeah, that was such a good book. It's the story about a young man who wants to visit his nephew who has tuberculosis, and he is staying in a sanatorium for a very long time in Stad or Davos, and he wants to visit him, and then he stays there for a couple of weeks, and of course they discover that he has tuberculosis too, and he has to stay there a couple of years, and he meets all sorts of people there, and they have a lot of philosophical talks and whatsoever, and but I loved it so much. It is such a brilliant book. I love the irony that Thomas Mann puts in his books, and I know a lot of people don't get it, and that's why it's so fun. People think that everything that's being said between all those men is what Thomas Mann thinks, but that's not true, and that's what's so fun. So Der Vulkaan is available for me on Hoopla. Never heard of Hoopla, Erin. What is Hoopla? Is it a sort of Kobo or Amazon kind of thing where you have to subscribe to? What are you doing tomorrow evening? Let me know. What are your plans for tomorrow evening? I have been invited to a party this afternoon, and I think I will go, and the theme is Charleston, so the Roaring Twenties. So I have to figure out what I will wear. We'll see. That's a bit about it. People, don't you have any questions? Are you still there? Is everybody still there? Let it come. Orlando, I've read Orlando very. Which Dovlatov? Would you, the Compass, or what is it? The Compromise, I believe. Compromise, written in 1981. And why it's so good? Well, it is. So he's not from Russia, but he is from. Vita is outside. She is chasing something. Dovlatov is an author that lived in Eastern Europe during behind the Iron Curtain, and he loves making fun of the way they have to live there, and it's so brilliant, and the administration there, it is hilarious. It's absolutely fun to read, although also painful, because although it is absurd the way they had to live, it was he mocks it, and I think it's a surprise that those books were ever published. So it's a really good author, Dovlatov, Sergei Dovlatov. This is This is an omnibus of 4 novels. Kompromis, Nashi, Remezlo, and Filial. The last one was published in 1990. Okay, thank you, people. I will end this one. This was actually a bit of a surprise for myself too. I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a very good end of the year. I need to read some more Anna Karenina for Classics and Company, and I hope you have a wonderful time tomorrow. I maybe will do another video. I will definitely do another video live next Monday on the 1st of January. I will absolutely do that. Talk to you later, friends, and bye-bye. Happy New Year.